Our genetic code is organized into chromosomes, long-stranded chemical molecules called DNA, half from one parent, half from another. Under the microscope, they look like this. They're given a number based on size and shape. There are 22 pairs of autosomal chromosomes labeled 1 to 22, and 2 sex chromosomes labeled X and Y. A gene is a short segment of a chromosome. It has all the information and instructions on how to make a specific protein. By expressing proteins, genes are able to influence a person's physical characteristics like red hair and their observable behaviors or personality traits. It is through genes that we get observable characteristics. We have 2 copies of most genes with different variations called alleles. The set of genes you get is your genotype. Being homozygous means you have inherited the same alleles of a gene from both your parents. Being heterozygous means you receive 2 different versions of a gene. When a gene is expressed, such as carroty red locks, this is seen to be expressed. This is a person's phenotype. Dominant genes means you would only need 1 copy to be a redhead. Recessive genes mean you need both gene copies to be a ginger. But genes are only part of the story, as a single gene is rarely responsible for a single expressed characteristic. Your genotype does not always make a phenotype. Environmental influences can impact how your genes are expressed. For example, you may have an identical twin who hates the water and was nearly drowned as a child. Your sister was a state swim champion and loves it. Was this due to the fact that your sister was born before you, or that your sister chose the swimming lesson earlier than you did? Twin studies, family studies, and adoption studies provide researchers with a greater understanding of how nature and nurture interact. To what degree are our genes responsible for our behavior? How much of our behavior is shaped by the environment? What is understood is that the cluster of observable characteristics are influenced by our genes. An understanding of the etiological underpinnings of a highly inherited disorder like ADHD and autism would provide a better understanding of risk factors and treatment approaches for people with those disorders. Heritability refers to the variation of a particular characteristic as explained by our genes. Early studies sought to link specific genes and behaviors, but it is complex. Things like gene protein levels and gene-to-gene interactions can cause genes to be switched on or off. Linked with this is the idea of epigenetics, a term used to describe how environments can impact our genes. Michael Meaney was an early researcher into this concept. He was interested in the idea of how environmental factors interact with genes and the behavioral patterns that emerge. He observed the maternal behavior of mother rats altered the expression of baby rats' genetic code, the phenotypic pathways and their behavior. The question remains of how epigenetics impacts humans.